Hey everybody, hope your Thanksgiving was a great one. Mine was fantastic, and I'm gonna have this great but short live stream because I am going to venture a guess that, like me, you're full of turkey and dressing and stuffing and ham and coffee and water and maybe a cocktail or two. Uh, and we'll probably drop off if I let this drone on for too long. Gotcha. There's always Friday, which technically we're in, right? Okay, let's go over the NFL standings after this incredible and predictable, unfortunately, Thanksgiving of games. In the AFC East, the New England Patriots are still 10-1. But the Buffalo Bills, which vanquished, no other way to talk about it, just vanquished the Dallas Cowboys, the supposedly mighty Cowboys, are 9-3. The New York Jets, which did clobber the Oakland Raiders last Sunday, 4-7, and bringing up the rear are the unfortunate Miami Dolphins. I said unfortunate because I had higher hopes for their performance with Brian Flores at the helm, but in his first year he hasn't done it. I think part of that has to do with the fact that his offensive coordinator, the person who was supposed to be his offensive coordinator, uh, had to go to the hospital. And that person, Jim Caldwell, was a legendary figure in NFL offense history, having helped build and guide the Colts offense with Peyton Manning, and then more recently been the offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens, guiding the supposedly not elite, but really at that time elite Joe Flacco to the 2013 Super Bowl and a win over the San Francisco 49ers. Now, uh, the AFC North has the Ravens at the top at 9-2, and I suspect they're on a 7-game win streak, folks. If they win, if they beat the Niners, they'll be 10-2, and they will, depending on how the Patriots come out, the Patriots on a 2-game win streak thanks to the loss of the Ravens, they could clinch. The Steelers at 6-5, the Browns are at 5-6. There is an outside chance that the Browns, with a 3-game winning streak, could go on a tear and go 10-6. I said outside. The Bengals, on the other hand, are playing for the first round draft pick NFL 2020 sweepstakes. They are 0-11. Right now, they're doing a pretty good job. The AFC South has the Houston Texans at 7-4, but the AFC South is a division that Raider fans must pay attention to because it holds the key to the Raiders' playoff future. I think a number of you know that, like PJ pointed that out in the other broadcast. The Houston Texans are 7-4. The Colts are 6-5. Hey, Donis, how you doing? Happy Thanksgiving, bro. The Colts are at 6-5. The Titans are at 6-5. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 4-7. And right now, none of them is on a real tear. The Houston Texans have a 1-game win streak. The Colts have a 1-loss win streak. The Tennessee Titans have a 2-game win streak, but it's 2 games. The Jacksonville Jaguars have a 3-game loss streak. And now we get to the AFC West. Hey, welcome to Zenny62. The Chiefs are 7-4. They play the Raiders at 6-5. This is pivotal. Hey, John, how you doing? This is Major League pivotal. If the Raiders beat the Chargers, they would be tied at 7-5. So the Raiders need to come out with the game plan like no one's ever seen them design and execute before, okay? The Chargers are at 4-7 and arguably are on the heels, except that they have a 2-game loss streak. Denver Broncos are 3-8, and they're basically pushing up the 2020 NFL Draft first round pick daisies. So that's how the standings look. Now, if we go to the playoff picture, courtesy of the NFL tells us that. I'm waiting for this uh, JavaScript page to open up. And pretty neat. It unfolds like zzz, It tells us that the Patriots right now are the first seed at 10-1. The Ravens are the projected second seed right now, and that's for the AFC. Okay. 49ers, let me show you this. I'm talking, but I can move this over and show you without much of a loss here. The 49ers in the NFC are as you can see, the first seed. The Saints are right on their heels, which points to, you guessed it, showdown, baby. Showdown. Okay. Wild card in the hunt. The wild card round, if the wild card round were to be held right now, it would be the Steelers and Texans, the Bills and Chiefs in the AFC, the Vikings, Packers, Seahawks, and Cowboys in the NFC. Now, in the hunt are the following. Scroll down. For the AFC, the Raiders are the projected 7th seed, the Colts, the Titans, the Browns, the Jaguars, the Chargers, Jets, Broncos, and Dolphins. For the NFC, the Rams, the Bears, the Eagles, the Panthers, the Buccaneers, the Cardinals, the Giants, and the Redskins. This is news. The Bucs, with all that, are now in the hunt. The Buccaneers are in the hunt. And if the Buccaneers win again, they'll be 5-7. And they play the Jacksonville Jaguars, which have been on a 3-game losing streak. Something to watch there. So, that sets the stage for the Raiders-Chiefs game to come up. Let me get to your comments right now, and look forward to telling me as well what you have for Thanksgiving. Then we'll talk about the other extremely big news of the week involving the Las Vegas Stadium. Donis, again, I say happy Thanksgiving. John Collis says happy Thanksgiving. I say happy Thanksgiving to you. Donis, John has a turkey icon. I've never seen this before. Look at this. He has a turkey icon. Look. See this? Boom. Turkey icon. That is cool, John. How did you do that? I want a turkey icon. John says, I predict, and Mike Reef has one too. I think. He says, I predict the Raiders are going to lose to the Chiefs, and then we'll win 4 straight and finish 10-6. Interesting. The Denver game is pivotal, to say the least. The Chiefs game, we'll see. But after the way the Raiders lost to the Jets, I'm skeptical, but I'm holding out hope for the possibility of a wild card appearance. Hey, everybody, welcome. And I say that because I'm really concerned about the Raiders' in-game seeming inability to effectively adjust their plans, okay? They seem to do, the Raiders do, a lot of evaluating of what happened after the game, as opposed to evaluating what happened, the first moment ago, and then saying, okay, instead of running, and I'm just giving you an idea off the top of my head of how they should think, but instead of running that expected wide tackle 6 defense, they threw an Oklahoma at us because they thought we were going to throw to our backs, and they're right. So what do? We have to now shift to a running game that features the eye so we can pound their middle linebackers, that sort of thing, okay? And that's in-game adjustments. Now, I would say, if you're going to do that, why not just have the quarterback call the plays? The best in-game adjuster has always been the quarterback that called his own plays. But you know, get the idea. Mike Reef, how you doing? And let me see what the NFL is saying about not just the playoff picture, but in the news regarding the playoffs and what was expected for this contest. Um, Now, getting to the Thanksgiving Day games, I just have to say, you know what? Oh, by the way, here's the news. Baltimore Ravens, this is as of Wednesday. Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson leads Pro Bowl voting by fans. You know what? Fans know a great player when they see one, man. I mean, I just have to say this straight out. It's not about race anymore for fans. Fans just like, you know what? The dude can play. Start him. And I think Lamar Jackson, just by his play and focus, has made converts of a lot of people. Not me. I was on his bandwagon before anybody else in the media started singing his praises. I hesitated because I was trying to think of somebody. Yeah, Donis, you speak for me. Donis wants to know, how do you do the turkey icon? I don't know. I would guess, let me think about it. If you want to do the turkey icon, you have to go where there's a turkey icon and then download it and then upload it. So you got to find the turkey icon and then download it to your computer and then upload it to wherever you want it to be, including your Google account. So it would have to come from your Google account. Yeah, through YouTube. That's just my first guess, okay? I could try. Let me see something here. I think there might be some other way that's right in my face. And see, Mike Reeves says he's doing it on his phone. So that means that if he's doing it on his phone, I'll bet that John Acala did it on his phone. Because I'm looking at my laptop, okay? And let me see something on the laptop. I'm just saying, trying to find turkey icon. Okay, so I've got, I hit emoji, and it's giving me a list of people and things here, and I'm scrolling through. I'm seeing shapes, nature, food, activities, travel. There's nature, food, activity. There's objects, symbols. So it was something that's added to the list. I can't seem to find it. So that's what you do. You have to type through your encyclopedia. Okay. So you have to type through encyclopedia of, you have objects, you have options, okay? People, nature, food, activities, travel, objects, symbols. So if I click on symbols, I get peace. I get a lot of peace sign stuff. See, you see that? I just put up trying to find turkey icon, but you see what I got? I didn't get the turkey icon. So, and then, well, you get the idea. So I'm now trying, super sticker. Maybe there's super stickers you can buy that are shaped like birds. There's one that says, "Hey, you." But I'm not going to do that. Okay. These super stickers you have to buy. And Mike Reeves says, I don't know how to do it on a computer. I kind of do it. Prince, I don't understand your question. So anyway, back to the NFL. Dan Quinn, as much as I personally like the man, the Falcon, he looks like he needs a new job. Raider Lou, I salute you. How are you, sir? Welcome to the program. Happy Thanksgiving to you, sir. Um, Raider. Oh yeah, everybody's giving me the bird, the Thanksgiving icon bird. Hey Raider Lou, what do you assess for me? What do you think of our chances against the Chiefs? Or as some people like to call them, some of my viewers like to call the Chiefs the chefs. The chefs. Are the chefs going to cook up a win? Ugh. I'll wait. I will wait. I will await your answer. And the L train. John calls says, why do you think referees are CA? John, you just went way over my head with that one. Um, so maybe you should try it again. Radio Lou says, if we can beat them as a 10-0 football team, anything can happen. Um, my concern about the Chiefs is whether or not we can match their speed on offense. And I think the best way, I really come to this conclusion, the best way to fight fire is with fire. So, for example, rather than trying to figure out how to beat Lamar Jackson, you structure an offense with a player that plays like Lamar Jackson. Case closed. Think about it. Okay. If you have to practice against that kind of player, right, then the probability that you're going to play well against that kind of player is much higher. So you might as well just come into the 21st century. Now, having said that, with respect to the Chiefs, Raider Lou just said it for me. His concern is Patrick Mahomes. He's not an easy QB to sack. No. And my concern is what the Chiefs ask him to do. And, John Cobb asks a very good question. John asks, why do you think referees are calling penalties so much that should not have been called? Raider Lou, I really believe that the reason this is happening is because the league is quite literally trying to police the game in a way that it never has before. And the NFL is trying to set a standard for play. Now, that's the safe one. On the other hand, I think some of the way the referees call their games makes it look like the league is trying to use the referees to engineer certain outcomes. Like there's some teams like the Buccaneers that seem to get an inordinate amount of penalties called against them. And arguably the Raiders too. And so it's like, hey, are you doing makeup calls? Because to me, I know some announcers think that's okay. I think if you're doing a makeup call, it means that your first call shouldn't have been done. Okay. I'm not comfortable with the way the league handles the ref situation because it's a bit too human. Okay? Ooh, my source popped up. I will get to that in a second. Okay. Brady Lou says, I know the teams are different. I know Derek Carr has never won in Kansas, but from 2007 to 2012, a number of bad Raider teams went into Kansas City and got a win. Any given Sunday is all the hope we need. That's true. Mathematically, you've got a 50% chance of winning. You got to show up and then play the game, and anything can happen. Anything. Okay? If you're wondering why I'm speaking in such in hushed tones, I'm in Chicago at my stepfather's, and the folks are sleeping downstairs. So that's what's happening, right? And it's been a great Thanksgiving. I didn't, frankly speaking, 2 days ago, I didn't know where I was going to be. I thought we were going to be in Atlanta, but we're here. And I am being where the family is, my mom. So there you go. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. I want to do this. Because I could talk football all night long. And I might. But Raider Lou says, They keep saying it's going to snow pretty early in KC. I hope Derek Carr and the offensive line come to play. If it does snow, then that points to our running game. And unlike other people, I don't think that weather is as big a factor as it's made out to be. Hear me out. A lot of the teams have players that played someplace else. Think about it. Whenever you hear, oh, this team's got a lot of players from the U, that's Miami, right? Well, okay. Suppose that team happens to be the Raiders, which isn't, or the Chiefs, or let's just take the U out of it. Let's say it's a Southern team, SEC team, right? Or series of teams. Let's say Alabama, Auburn, Georgia. You know what I mean? The point that I'm making is this. Teams like the Chiefs have a healthy number of players that played in warm climates. They were in Kansas City, different times, right? Um, I don't think it's as big as an advantage as it were if you're talking about a college team from a warm weather climate going to play a bowl game in a colder weather climate where their opponent is from a colder weather climate. Okay. So I'm not as sold on that. And I say all that to say this. If it does snow, then I think the Raiders have a better chance of beating the Chiefs because that diminishes the Chiefs' speed. And it puts a premium on the running game where the Raiders should shine on paper with Josh Jacobs and that offensive line over the Chiefs. And that's so it's going to snow pretty early. This is going to be an interesting game. I'll tell you what, the weather, that's the one factor that's going to really flip a lot of stuff. If it happens to, like, for example, if the 49ers go to Baltimore and it snows in Baltimore, what makes it harder for the Niners is that they have that running game. And they can pound the crap out of them in the snow and make them harder to catch. Make Lamar Jackson harder to catch. That's going to be an interesting game. Ray Lewis says, go Ravens. Ray Lewis says, Josh Jacobs needs to keep that KC offense on the bench. I think really it's the line, You give Jacobs and the line and the offensive coordinator, because I don't know about you, Raider Lou, but I am really tired of seeing us put Josh Jacobs up the middle all the time. How about sweep outside, man? You know what I mean? More speed runs. That's his game. I mean, he's tough, yeah, but put him up the middle, ask him to get yardage off tackle, yeah, but I'm tired of line bucks, man. Jason Craig says, Niner Nation. Why not? Hey, I'm a Walsh fan. I like Jed York. You might very well be Jed York right now. Ray Lou says, I hear you, it's annoying. Yeah, it really is. I mean, what's the point of these line bucks? Not doing anything. He's not popping it, I mean, they expect him to pop a wheelie, somersault on a doggone line, and then run for a touchdown. I don't know. All right, folks. Let me get to the other news. Yeah, Raider Lou, you're right. Gruden is making it way too predictable, and some of the problem that caused John's stock to diminish the first time is raising its head this time. And I think now there is something to be said for pointless attacks. We're using pre-shifts, and he does that. And no huddle, and he does that. Hey, Donuts, no, Vegas is not going well, man. Let me get to that in a second. But I think what John needs to do is just simply adjust in game. And you would say, what is that? Well, that depends on what the opponent does. Okay. If it calls for quarterback bootleg runs, do it. Right? If it calls for throwing to Josh Jacobs in the flat, do it. Right? In other words, if the linebackers are injured, if they have new players at sensitive positions like weak side linebacker or even middle linebacker, exploit it. Make in-game adjustments to win. That's the difference, okay? That's the difference. So let me use Adonis' question as a jumping off point to talk about Las Vegas. Las Vegas has some problems. And let me read to you what I read, and then my source chimed in with some more information. Okay, basically, the word is, and I mentioned this before, basically what I say is that Las Vegas Stadium is beset with a number of problems that threaten to delay its opening. And on that, the real news is it's not going to make a July 31st, 2020 deadline to opening. And word is the Oakland Raiders are working to adjust their option of their deal that allows them to play in Oakland in 2020. If they take the option and have until April 1st to decide, then they have to pay $10.5 million to the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum Joint Powers Authority. That's way above the $7.5 million they got for the new lease with Scott McKibben with the Coliseum JPA executive director. Hey, Jason, I may circle back and talk about the Niners one moment. But I'm also going to do a live stream on Friday. So hold on. Okay. They need to have the home where they're going to play because of these following problems with Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. One, the Raiders are short the dozen of founding partner sponsors they say they need to help pay for Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. They have 9, and they need 2 more in this problem. Actually, 3 more. I got to adjust that. 9, 10, 11, 12, right? The roof structure raising that was to be finished on Thanksgiving is delayed, perhaps until April, which just happens to be the deadline for the Coliseum JPA lease notice. 3, while no official reason was given for the roof structure raising delay, it may be tied to the news that there are allegations of flaws with the bolts being installed or have been installed and a possible collapse of a small area last week. Okay? Possible collapse of a small area last week. New bolts are being ordered for some of the structural areas. That comes from a blogger named Tina Guizon who put out a tweet. She also just wrote me an additional note. Now you would say, who, what? Tina was at the NFL Knowers meeting. She was in Fort Lauderdale for it, but she wasn't actually at it. And I instructed her by a private message, and I informed the NFL because I didn't know who she was. And she responded to me. I said, hey, you know what? If you don't have an NFL press credential, you shouldn't be there. I said, I'm just giving you just fair warning. Because, look, it's a high security area. You don't just go prancing around there looking for information thinking you'll walk in. It's not a good idea. You could get arrested. And I just gave her a fair warning of that. Also, she didn't seem to have much of a track record, right? So all of a sudden, she sort of inserts her things to her head in these things. Although this time she came up with something that looks like it's got some legs. I just have to be honest. She said that this is what Tina wrote. Tina wrote that there's a flaw with the bolts being installed and a possible collapse. I put this in quotes. Possible collapse of a small area last week. New bolts are being ordered for some of the structural areas. And here's the thing, okay? What she reported. Tina says the bolts she reports about read as if it's related to the bolts that tie the roof trusses to the steel structure. And that would explain why the roof is delayed. it's one more problem with the roof structure truss design that should cause concern. Okay. So then she just sent something back a little bit ago. A little bit, I mean like a few minutes. This updated message, and it reads, this is quite long. I got to show you this, okay, folks? Hold on a second. You got to see this. Okay, it says, I will try to find out more, but folks are afraid to talk any further than the original allegations told me in fear of retaliation, especially after the New Orleans Hard Rock Hotel incident. Workers tried to tell of usage conditions prior and were met with hostility and now harassment from government. From what I was able to gather, it happened about the week or two before my arrival on the 9th of November, but we'll try to reach back out to get more details on the location of the small collapse. Many construction companies have been using inferior steel rebar and bolts from China. Could be the cause here also. And it has been reported that Las Vegas and this project has been short on skilled steel workers and skilled steel welders. So it adds to the possibility of structural integrity problem. And if the Allegiant Stadium is doing some first-in designs and the concepts have not been previously tried and proven as sound. Whoa, okay. So there you go, folks. There's your news. Now, I have to add too that something that she didn't add, and I'm going to write. This is valuable news. I will share. Please be careful out there. Also, this ties into, as I said, what I was trying to explain to Tina is that this ties into the news that as Don Webb said, Chief Operating Officer, where Don was basically talking about the not just the need for skilled steel workers and welders early on, okay, but that this is a new process, which is what she's saying, and he said that repeatedly. But he hasn't discussed the degree to which this has been tested in a simulator. You know, buildings like this, of this size and expense, you have you simulate mathematically its performance. Okay, I don't mean the simulation like the one that's on YouTube where it's, you know, building itself. No, these are mathematical structural simulations. I would love to see how those look. Okay, especially with this issue, and and the other problem, and you know what it is: rushing this thing. Hurry up and finish. So you have this rock meeting this hard place. The hard place, or the problems building up the rock, is the push to finish this thing fast by someone. And she said government. Somebody in government, Sisolak, the governor. Jeez, oh, Steve, don't do that. Seems to be pushing this. That's the only logical explanation. So it says, this is valuable news I will share. Please be careful out there. Also, this ties into the news from Don Webb. Raiders COO that they are under a very tight time frame. There, that's the response that I sent back. Yeah, that's the response I sent back. So that's intense news. Okay. And I don't. I know that. Oh, John. John Akala asked the question of the night, proving that he definitely had scotch. John says, will lawsuits arise? You think if Raiders play in Oakland in 2020 and not in Vegas? Yeah, I do. Um, I think. Well, if you think about the mechanics, Lean, that points to that right there. Basically, is a type of lawsuit. It says, "Hey, you don't have enough money. We don't think you have enough money. All right. I understand it's still active." So, John, the climate for lawsuit is already ripe. And not only that, I meant to check something. I meant to check, excuse me, Las Vegas weather because it was supposed to rain. It was supposed to rain this week, and it did not. It rained yesterday. It rained through Wednesday. Excuse me. Thursday it did not rain. So, 10-day weather forecast. 23 hours ago, local news: rain moves in Las Vegas Valley Thursday afternoon. Thanksgiving Day travel: rainy, snowy weather causes road closures. And then, so all of that also contributes to this whole roof thing and to the stadium itself. You have an open air stadium, you know. How many times have I been to the construction site? Three times. I haven't. Last time I was there was during CES, so it's been a year, almost coming January. It's been a year. Um, and then prior to that, I was there twice, so yeah, three times. How about you? You've probably been more than I am. But I'm such a famous face. I'm not sure it's a good idea. I just start just roaming around there. Hey, it's that guy. You know, I'm not against your project, guys. I'm just against misinformation and I want to see your project done right, well, on time. Okay. Now, what I'm looking for is I'm going to Vegas page. I want to see what has been done with respect to what the latest is on the update for the live streams. It's a great archive. I don't understand why anybody needs to just spend 30 minutes out there. Okay, you don't. I'm not taking anything away from the guys that do it. Right, I'm talking about making videos and all that. All you gotta do is sit at home and look at the live stream, man. You can get a lot more in a lot less time. Okay, so look at the stadium live cam. Stadium live cam. Okay. The other thing that concerns me, I want to find out more about, is this alleged collapse thing. Okay. Ooh, there's somebody on the property right now. Take a look at this. Stadium. See that? Look. See that car? What is that person doing on the stadium? Maybe it's security. It's got to be security. We got two. You got that one here, right? Got another one over here. Okay. So it looks like security. But what I'm looking for is, I just want to go back in time a little bit. Hit archive views. November 28th. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh, it rained. Folks, it rained hard on Thanksgiving Day. Look at this. See, look. Boom. See that? Look at that. See that? Look at that. Look at that. Thanksgiving Day rain. People working. Now, what does that mean? It means, let's see here, interior view. Interior view. Wow, once again, stadium got waterlogged during the day. Look. Here. These are new. I don't know what those are. Dividers. I don't know what those are. Those are new. That and that. These new markings. See? But you can see the stadium floor is waterlogged again. Yeah. So, I was thinking that with this roof issue going through this April, that pretty much makes it a foregone conclusion that snow and ice are going to impact this interior before all is said and done. And that's a bad thing. All right, folks, it is 2:23 in the east, 1:23 in central. I'll be back later tonight. It's Friday. Except on the West Coast. Actually, yeah. Anyway. It's 11, 10, 1, 2, 1, 12, 12, 12, 14 on the West Coast. Okay. No, 11. So except on the West Coast. I was right. All right. Problems. John Acala says Raiders are playing in Oakland in 2020, I think. And, yeah. Wouldn't surprise me either. Like I said, do it right. We'll be back, folks. Get some rest and make sure you drink a lot of water. It's good for you. Thanks for watching. And remember, live long and prosper in your world. See ya.